Everybody knows that I'm a Canucks fan. I'm here in Vancouver. I was raised here, even though I wasn't born here. I was born in Asia, technically. The Vancouver Canucks are my number one team, but despite that fact, today was a good day for hockey fans in Canada. Not only did we see the Toronto Maple Leafs beat out their 19-year drought of not making the second round, but in the later game, we had ourselves a matchup between Edmonton and LA that also came to an end here. The Edmonton Oilers, for the second year in a row, have defeated the Kings in round number 1 of the playoffs. This time it comes in the 6th game in LA in a third period where everything that could have happened, happened. My goodness, we had ourselves a goalie, dang it. We had Yamamoto bouncing back with multiple points to end off the series. Klim Kostin getting on the board twice. Of course, Connor McDavid doing his thing and getting on the board. But at the end of the day, the final score of game number 6 is 5-4 Edmonton. And it featured a very high-paced, high-action last few minutes of the game. Now, I'm going to be honest, after the Toronto Maple Leafs game, I kind of had this Oilers game on in the background. I ended up going to the mall, just did some shopping, had some dinner, and eventually when I got home, it was already the third period in this hockey game. It was, what was the score at this time in the game? 4-3, so I kind of missed out on a good chunk of the action. Just reading off the goal scorers here, McDavid started things off with a very beautiful tip pass by Evan Bouchard. Sean Durzi tied things up for LA a little bit later. Klim Kostin scored 2 in this one. First one putting up Edmonton 2-1. Draisaitl also got on the board too. Kempe and Fiala also struck as well, giving the 4-3 Edmonton lead at the start of the third period, that in which I was able to watch. Now, the first of the 2 goals scored in the third was scored by Philippe Danault on a very terrible play. It's a shorthanded goal here where I believe it was Gavrikov. He's at his own goal line and he dumps it all the way down to the Edmonton goal. Stuart Skinner stops it up, and then he tries to make a pass out front to his guy on the half wall. But instead, he whiffs on the puck, it bounces off of the blade of his stick, and it's played out in front for Philippe Danault, who's streaking in. Danault is applying some really hard pressure, which is what forces Skinner to make the pass in the first place, but Skinner with an absolutely brutal giveaway that was, I think it was caused by a broken blade? Somebody was showing it on Twitter that the actual blade of his goalie stick was cracked right down center, which kind of caused the pressure imbalance when he tried to pass the puck forward, eventually leading to that Philippe Danault chance, but it was 4-4 on a shorthanded goal because of this play. And a lot of people, myself included, were saying, hey, if the Oilers end up losing this game, man, if they lose 5-4 in overtime, 5-4 in regulation, then Stuart Skinner, man, you better bounce back in Game 7, but fortunately for him, the Oilers get things done, and they bounce back in the best way possible. It's Kailer Yamamoto who picks a puck up from Ryan McLeod. Yamamoto dashes right down the half wall, fakes a drop pass, curls around on the pivot, throws the puck on goal, and it beats Korpisalo right through the screen. No tip, no nothing, just a clean shot right through, and Kailer Yamamoto ultimately ends up being the hero in Game 6 for Edmonton. 5-4 a final score here, and the Oilers, for the second time in a row, have defeated the Kings. Now, because of this, we have ourselves our very first second-round matchup of the playoffs confirmed. It is Edmonton versus Vegas, and we're going to have an entire other video tomorrow just going over what that's going to be about. It's going to be so good seeing McDavid versus Eichel, baby. This matchup was 7 years in the making, but we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. For now, though, the LA Kings had themselves a really good run. They were a really good team, honestly. Like, just watching these games, they definitely had a chance to really fight and push things forward for Edmonton. Especially in the earlier games, this definitely wasn't going to be a cakewalk for the Oilers. It's kind of funny because the Oilers had a pretty easy time last year beating the Calgary Flames before absolutely getting whooped by the Avalanche. But in that first round series against LA, they had a really difficult time, and Mike Smith was ultimately the victor in what resulted in that Game 7 there. So, for now, this Oilers team is stronger than they were. The Kings still gave the Oilers a run for their money, but ultimately, it's Edmonton that comes out on top. Thoughts in the comment section about this Game 6. The Oilers have defeated the Kings 4-2. Yamamoto is the hero, and Stuart Skinner is the one who got saved the most, pretty much, even though he did have a pretty good game, all things considered, even though he did let in 4. I mean, it's tough to say that a goalie letting in 4 goals had a good game in any respect, but 5-4 in a playoff game like this, with the atmosphere, with the shots, with the star power, you can't really go wrong with that, can't you? So, thoughts in the comment section below. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Juraj 99, and bye.